Hello, chat. How you guys doing? What's up, Wing Chun? How's it going? Hey, Sal. What's up, Amy? Nice of you to join. What's up, Sunny Side Up? Hello, Losh. How you doing? Hey, Hope. Sensei is late again. Uh, here's the thing, okay? 4 minutes is not late. 15 minutes. Remember what we learned in school, guys? 15 minutes is when the teacher's late and you can go home. 4 minutes is nothing. What's up, Christina? What's up, Benjamin? Hey, Nikki. Nice of you to join. That's almost 5 minutes. All right. You need a song to soothe your nerves. Well, you gotta catch me in a definition, okay? What's up, Carlos? All right. So I think today is the day, guys. Today is the day we're going to ace this Africa quiz, okay? We almost did it last time. It was like a 98% or something. Give me a sec. South Africa is not real? Okay. Hold on. I'm so disorganized. Let me find the page again. Okay. All right, 100%, okay? Cannot miss even one country. Let's do it. Mozambique, I know where you are. You're right here. Equatorial Guinea, must be this one. Sao Tome and Principe, yeah. Benin, that's you right there. Malawi, this is Malawi. Morocco, that's too easy. Tunisia is right there. We know that. Guinea-Bissau, oh. It's so easy. Yeah, there it is. Lesotho, no problem. Kenya, I know where you are. Right there. South Africa. Central African. Right in the middle. Seychelles is off in the distance over here. Sierra Leone. Fuck. It's either this one or this one. I think it's this one. Right? Yes. Yes. Okay. Angola. That must be you. Namibia. Namibia. Oh shit. I think this is Namibia. Oof. This is Zambia, right? So this must be Namibia. This is Zimbabwe and this is Botswana. Namibia. Okay. Mali, Ghana is here. Niger. Oof, we're doing so good. Burkina Faso is here, right? Mauritania must be here. No, must be here. Here. Libya is here. Uganda is here. Ah! No! That's Rwanda! Fuck. Oh no! I knew that too. I never miss Rwanda. Okay, today's not the day. Today is not the day we win. Guinea, Cape Verde is here. Eswatini is here, right? Egypt? Ah, okay. 98%. We won't beat last times, but at least we'll be equal. Sudan is here. Madagascar. Algeria, Senegal. Zimbabwe is here, right? Oh, that's Botswana? Okay. Oh, not a good day. Not a good day. Western Sahara, Togo, Burundi, Nigeria, Ethiopia, Ivory Coast, Tanzania. Tanzania? Zambia, Chad, Liberia. Know where you are. Somalia, Eritrea, Botswana, South Sudan, Mauritius. Here? Gambia, Cameroon. Ah. Gabon. Oh, these are easy. Djibouti, Comoros. Ah. 96. So close. Dude, I knew Rwanda was here, not here. I don't know what happened. But then we missed this anyways. Okay, it's Botswana and Zimbabwe. Botswana, then Zimbabwe. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. Next time. You bet I was late because I was practicing? Absolutely. Today, what we have for a snack is this. It is rice crackers. Okay. I don't know what it's flavored with. Hopefully it's flavored with something and it's not just bland. Sal, despite you like how despite missing so many weeks of live streams, you come back and we're still doing it in Africa. Okay, yeah. I hear you. Got a smart ass over here. We're almost done with Africa, okay? I can see us doing it next week. Okay. Here it is. Ooh. Ooh. Is it textured like a Cheeto? Kinda? A little bit, I guess. It's a rice cracker. So similar to a corn cracker, I guess. Hmm. 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 You know what? Pretty good. Not bad. It was a little salty. It's a rice cracker. Okay, good. That's a 7.4 out of 10. It is crunchy. All right. I think it's going to be a short chapter this week, okay? Because it was pretty short last time. Oh, shit. Give me a second. All right. Recap. What happened last week? So, last week, our hero monk, Suju, he accidentally breaks Mr. Intelligence's Go formation, all right? So, Mr. Intelligent is joyous, and he tells Suju to enter his sect's residence. Inside, he finds his old man, who's actually the master of Mr. Intelligent. Okay, the master who hasn't died yet. And the master transfers his chi into Suju, giving him like 70 years worth of internal energy that he cultivated over his entire life. And he gives him the leadership of the sect. Okay, his sect is the Carefree sect. And this master also gives him this mission to kill his old disciple Ding Chunqiu, okay, who was the master of poisons. Okay, not a good guy. Then afterwards, the master, since he has transferred all of his energy into Suju, he dies. The master dies. Now Suju didn't know what to do, so he steps out of the residence, and when he steps out, he sees Mr. Intelligent and Ding Chunqiu fighting, and he sees that Mr. Intelligent is losing. Okay, he's not as powerful as Ding Chunqiu. And Suju lends some of his internal energy to Mr. Intelligent, and then they beat Ding Chunqiu. He runs away. Mr. Intelligent takes Suju back inside and realizes that his master is dead, and he cries. And then Mr. Intelligent tells Suju that Ding Chunqiu only wanted the locations of the secret manuals. Ding Chunqiu only kept him alive because he wants the locations of the secret manuals of their sect, okay, of the Carefree sect. They have some secret martial arts, okay, that he wants to learn. And if he killed Mr. Intelligent, he would never be able to learn it. So that's why he's still alive. Mr. Intelligent sees that Suju doesn't really want to be the leader of the sect, okay, and he doesn't want to be he doesn't want to carry out this mission, okay, because he thinks he's not that powerful. He only wants to return to the Shaolin Temple and be a monk. Mr. Intelligent then says that, hey, there are a bunch of people outside who are poisoned by Ding Chunqiu, including Suju's elder monk. He could teach Suju to cure them. And I believe that's where we stopped. How's that? Okay. Are you ready? This is Chapter 32, Part 2. Suju remembered all the techniques taught by Su Xinghe. This is Mr. Intelligent, but he only knows how to apply, but not the reasoning behind it. Su Xinghe saw Suju's demonstration of the techniques. There were no mistakes. His face revealed a smile and praised. Sect leader's memory is excellent. You understand everything at once. Suju saw his smile was rather furtive. It seems as if he harbored malicious intentions. He could not help but ask, "Why are you smiling?" Su Xinghe immediately became solemn. He bowed respectfully and said, "Elder brother wouldn't dare to laugh or smile. Sect leader, please forgive me if I am not respectful enough." Suju was anxious to treat everyone's injuries. Thus, he did not pursue this matter anymore. He said, "Let us go outside and take a look." Su Xinghe said yes. He followed behind Suju and they went outside the house. They saw a bunch of injured people sitting cross-legged on the floor. Mu Rongfu was channeling his internal energy to help relieve the suffering of Bao Butong and Feng Bo. Wang Yuyan was attending to Gong Yugan's injuries. Xue Muhua was sweating profusely. He was constantly on the move. Whoever was in critical condition, he will immediately go over and try to save him. But once one patient quieted down, another patient started shouting again. Xue Muhua saw Xu Xinghe come out of the house. He felt great comfort. He quickly rushed towards him and said, "Master, please, think of a method." Shuju walked towards Xuannan. His eyes were closed, and he was channeling his energy. Shuju simply stood beside and dared not open his mouth to speak. Xuannan slowly opened his eyes. He gave a sigh and said, "I am really incompetent. I suffered under the poisonous hands of Ding Chunqiu and tainted our Shaolin's reputation. I am really ashamed. Go back and report to the abbot, and tell him that I and martial brother Xuantong cannot return back to the Shaolin Temple." In the past, Shuju met his martial grandfather before. He was always stately, charismatic, and reliable, but now his expression was sullen, an attitude of desolation. His speech hinted at his intentions to commit suicide. Shuju quickly said, "Martial grandfather, please, don't be upset. As practitioners of martial arts, our heart must not have anger, no eagerness to compete, no desire in victory and defeat, no desire in gains and losses." He kept reciting non-stop. Unexpectedly, these words were the exact same words used by Xuannan to admonish him, and now he recited it back to Xuannan. But suddenly he realized that it doesn't seem right, and he immediately shut up. But he had already said quite a few sentences. Xuannan gave a slight smile and sighed. "Your words are correct, but your martial grandfather lost all his internal energy. I don't even have the strength to concentrate on Buddhism anymore." Shuju said, Yes, disciple is naive. I am talking rubbish." As he was about to try and treat Xuannan's injuries, he suddenly recalled the suspicious smile on Xu Xinghe. He was alarmed. "He asked me to use my palm and smack my martial grandfather's acupoint of the top of his head. How would I know he is not trying to harm me? If I really smack down with my palm and unexpectedly kill my martial grandfather, then what should I do?" Xuannan said, "Go report back to the abbot. Our Shaolin temple will meet great catastrophe in the future. He should take extra precautions against it. Be careful when traveling back. You are pure and honest. I am not worried about your Buddhist prohibition and Buddhist devotion, but from now on you must put in more effort on intelligence and wisdom. You should study attentively the 4 scrolls of... It's a pity that I can no longer guide you." Shuju said, Yes. He saw how Xuannan was still concerned about him. He felt grateful. He said, "Martial grandfather, since our temple will have great catastrophe, we need you to take care of yourself and go back to assist the abbot. Together we will drive away the enemy." Xuannan forced a bitter smile and said, I am hit by Ding Chunqiu's great energy-dissolving skill. I am already a handicapped person. How can I assist the abbot and drive away the enemy?" Shuju said, "Martial grandfather, Mr. Intelligent taught me a set of healing methods. Disciple is overestimating his ability, but I wish to try it on martial uncle Huifang. I ask martial grandfather for permission." Xuannan was flabbergasted. He knew the deaf-mute old man is the master of the divine physician Shui. The healing method imparted by him must be sensible. But he doesn't understand why Xu Xinghe or even Xue Muhua wouldn't come forth personally and provide the treatment. He said, "The method imparted by Mr. Intelligent is obviously ingenious. He gave a glance at Xu Xinghe and said to Shuju, okay, this is Xuanan talking. The method imparted by Mr. Intelligent is obviously ingenious. He gave a glance at Xu Xinghe and said to Shuju, go and try it. Shuju walked towards Huifang. He bowed and said, Martial uncle, nephew received orders from martial grandfather. I will treat your injury. Please, don't be offended. Huifang smiled and nodded his head. Shuju acted according to the method taught by Xu Xinghe. He carefully aimed the spot below the left side torso. He waved his right palm and struck the spot. Huifang groaned. His body swayed. He felt as if there was a hole in his torso. All his blood and vital energy seemed to flow out from this hole. His entire body felt empty. He couldn't control it at all, but the itch and pain caused by Yo Tanju's frost poison instantly vanished. Shuju did not use his internal energy to expel the frost poison. Rather, he used his 70 years to strike at the torso. What? Wait, what does that even mean? He used his 70 years of blank. Okay. He used his 70 years of cultivated energy to strike at the torso and open up a hole to drain off the frost poison. It was the same as someone who was bitten by poisonous snakes. He will cut open his wound and try to squeeze out the venom. With this technique, cutting body with energy blade, obviously you cannot hit the wrong spot. But if your internal energy was insufficient and you could not penetrate the meridians with a single strike, then not only will the poison not drain out, instead the poison will be forced into the inner organs and the patient will suffer a violent death immediately. Yeah, they did forget a word here. Shuju felt unsure when he sent out his palm strike. Huifang swayed and slowly stabilized. His frown and expression of pain gradually changed into relaxed happiness. These changes occurred within a short period of time, but to Shuju it seemed like a few hours. After a while, Huifang exhaled. He smiled and said, Good, martial nephew. The power in that palm strike is not small. Suju was excited and said, I wouldn't dare. He turned back and said to Xuanan, Martial grandfather, is it okay if I go treat the rest of the martial uncles? Currently, Xuanan's expression was extremely happy, but he shook his head and said, No, go treat the other seniors first. After that, we treat our own people. Shuju trembled in his heart. He quickly said, Yes, he pondered. Others before self. This is the great compassion of Buddhism, the heart to save all living things. He saw Bao Butong was in severe pain, his teeth clattering. He immediately walked towards him and said, Mr. Bao, Mr. Intelligent taught this junior monk a method to treat this frost poison. Junior monk only learned it today. I am not proficient, but I will treat Mr. Bao. Please forgive my offense. As he finished speaking, he extended his hand and touched Bao Butong's chest. Bao Butong laughed and said, What are you trying to do? Shuju raised his right palm. There was a pung sound, and he landed the palm on Bao Butong's chest. Bao Butong was furious. He cursed, Smelly monk! But he did not complete the word monk. The frost poison, which had tortured him for so long, unexpectedly flowed rapidly out of his chest. He swallowed his words and dared not curse anymore. Shuju helped the rest of the injured people to drain off Yo Tanju's frost poison. Afterwards, he went to treat those injured by Ding Chunqiu. Some of these people had poisoned in their meridians due to Ding Chunqiu's great energy-dissolving skill. Shuju struck his palm at either the Baihui acupoint on the top of their head or the Ling Tai acupoint at their solar plexus. Their energy returned back normal, and they could use it to slow and they could use it to slowly neutralize the poison themselves. Some of them suffered internal energy injuries. Suju used his finger to prick their acupoints and dissolve the energy of Xingxiu's sect. Luckily, his memory was extremely good. Xu Xinghe taught him various different kinds of medical treatment methods and techniques. Unexpectedly, he remembered all of them clearly. He implemented them accordingly, and within the time taken to eat a meal, he removed everyone's pain and ailments. The patients were all very grateful towards him. As for spectators, they greatly admired the divine technique of the deaf-mute old man. But when they thought about the fact that he was the master of the divine physician Shui, they did not think that was odd. Use an ad blocker? What do you mean? You don't want to see this peacock ad on the side? What do you mean? It adds a nice color to the page. Finally, Suju walked towards Xuan'an. He bowed and said, "Martial grandfather, disciple is bold. I want to strike my palm on your Baihui acupoint, on the top of your head." Xuan'an smiled and said, "You gained the favor of Mr. Intelligent. Unexpectedly, you managed to learn ingenious healing techniques. Your affinity with fortune is really not small. Go ahead and strike my Baihui acupoint." Shuju bowed and said, "Please forgive my boldness." When he was at Shaolin Temple, he was always looking at Xuan'an from afar. When Xuan'an gathered the monks to explain martial arts theories, Suju would just stand together with the rest, and he never got much chance to talk with them. But now he actually had to strike Xuan'an's head. Although it was for the purpose of medical treatment, he could not help but feel worried. He also noticed that Xuan'an's smile was rather unusual. He didn't understand his intention. He composed himself and said, "Disciple will have to offend you. Martial grandfather, please, forgive me." He took a step forward, his palm targeting Xuan'an's Baihui acupoint. The force was neither hard nor soft, neither slow nor fast. He waved his palm and struck downwards. Just as Shuju's palm touched Xuan'an's forehead, Xuan'an suddenly gave a very odd smile. Immediately after, he gave a long cry, and his body suddenly went limp. His body wriggled a few times, and he lay prostrate on the floor and was motionless. All the spectators cried out in alarm. Shuju was so frightened that his heart thumped madly. He hastily rushed forward and supported Xuan'an. Huifang and the rest of the monks also rushed beside him. When they saw Xuan'an, his face revealed a smile, but his breathing had stopped. He was already dead. Shuju cried out in fear, Martial grandfather, what happened to you?" "Oh, he died." "What? How? Why? Who? Where?" Wait, bells? Bells for the dead monk? Prostrate definition. Oh, I know this. So to lay prone is to lay on the ground forward, right? On your belly. To lay prostrate is to lay back. So you lay on the ground with your back to the ground, I believe. Wait, no, hold on. Wait, that's not right. That is not true. That is not what prostrate means. There's another word for laying back on your back. Prostrate just means laying forward. Yeah? Like kneeling down and laying forward. Like you prostrate yourself. Whew! So close. I mean, so close to being wrong, because I was right. Lying stretch on the ground with one's face downward. Suddenly, Xu Xinghe shouted, "Who is it? Stop there!" He arrived quickly from the southeast corner and said, "Someone made a sneak attack behind, but his movement is very fast. Unexpectedly, I couldn't see him properly." He grabbed Xuannan's wrist. He frowned and said, "Master Xuannan already lost his internal energy. When someone made a sneak attack on his completely defenseless, he was completely defenseless and died." Suddenly, he smiled. His expression was very odd. What the hell's going on? Shuju's mind was in a mess. He cried and shouted, Martial grandfather, you, why?" Suddenly he remembered the furtive smile by Xu Xinghe when they were inside the wooden house. He said furiously, "Mr. Intelligent, tell me the truth. How did my martial grandfather die? Did you intentionally try to harm him?" Xu Xinghe knelt down and said, "Reporting the sect leader, Xu Xinghe dare not try to plot against the sect leader. Master Xuannan unexpectedly passed away. It was certainly due to a sneak attack." Shuju said, "Just now, in the wooden house, you gave a weird smile. What is the reason?" Xu Xinghe was startled and said, "Huh? Did I smile? Sect leader, you have to be extremely careful. Someone..." He did not complete his sentence as he abruptly stopped talking. His face revealed an extremely odd smile. Xue Muhua cried out loudly, "Master!" He hurriedly took out a bottle of antidote from his bosom. He quickly took off the bottle stopper and poured 3 pills onto his hand and stuffed it into Xu Xinghe's mouth. But Xu Xinghe already stopped breathing. He did not swallow the pill. Xue Muhua burst into tears. "Master is poisoned by Ding Chunqiu and died. Ding Chunqiu, this evil traitor." He was crying so badly that he couldn't speak anymore. Kang Guangling threw himself at Xu Xinghe's body. Xue Muhua quickly grabbed his back and forcefully pulled him back. He wept, "There is poison on Master's body." Fan Bailing, Goudu, Wu Lingjun, Feng Asan, Li Kuilei, Xi Qingfeng, all 8 disciples stood beside Xu Xinghe. They were the disciples of Xu Xinghe. They felt anger and sadness. Kang Guangling followed Xu Xinghe for a long time. He knew all the sect rules and regulations. When he saw his master kneel down in front of Shuju and referred to him as the sect leader, he already knew about 80 to 90% of what was going on. He closely examined Shuju's finger. He was indeed wearing a gem ring. Kang Guangling said, "All fellow martial brothers, follow me and pay our respects to the new sect leader." As he finished speaking, he knelt down in front of Shuju and kowtowed. Fan Bailing and the rest were startled. They suddenly realized the truth and also followed suit and kowtowed. Shuju was disconcerted. He said, Ding Chunqiu, that treacherous benefactor, he killed my martial grandfather and also killed you, master. Killed your master." Kang Guangling said, "Kill that wicked traitor to avenge them. We ask sect leader to take charge of this important matter." Shuju was just a little monk without any worldly experience. As for his martial arts knowledge, fame, and prestige, everyone present here were all superior to him. He thought, "I have to take revenge for martial grandfather. I have to take revenge for Mr. Intelligent. I have to take revenge for that old man in the wooden house." He shouted loudly, "I will definitely kill Ding Chunqiu. Ding Chunqiu, this evil person, this treacherous benefactor." Kang Guangling kowtowed again and said, "Martial uncle sect leader agreed to deal with that traitor and avenge my master. Nephew is extremely grateful towards martial uncle sect leader." Fan Bailing, Xue Muhua, and the rest, all of them kowtowed. Shuju quickly knelt down to return the courtesy and said, I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. Everyone, please get up." Kang Guangling said, "Martial uncle, Nephew has another thing to report, but there are too many people here. I invite you into the wooden house so that I can personally tell you. Shuju said, okay. Shuju followed Kang Guangling, and they were about to enter the wooden house. Suddenly, Fan Bailing said, wait! Our master contracted that old trader's poison inside that house. Martial uncle, sect leader, and senior martial brother, it's best that you don't go in. That old trader is full of tricks. You cannot guard against him. Kang Guangling nodded his head and said, your words are reasonable. Martial uncle, sect leader's body is very precious. We cannot let him take the risk. Shui Muhua said, the two of you just speak here. We will keep watch and guard against the old trader's schemes. As he finished speaking, he walked somewhere else. Feng Asan, Wu Lingjun, and the rest all walked out to around 10 zhang. Mu Rongfu, Deng Baichuan, and the rest, all of them saw the sect members move away. Although Jiumozi, Duan Yanjing, and the rest found it odd, but the matter did not concern them, and they also left the area without consulting anyone. Kang Guangling said, martial uncle. Shuju said, I am not your martial uncle. I am also not your sect leader. I am a monk from Shaolin. I am not related to your carefree sect. Kang Guangling said, martial uncle, how can you not acknowledge it? The name Carefree Sect. Outsiders will never know this name. If outsiders accidentally or deliberately hears it, then based on our sect rules, they would be killed without fail. Oh shit, they're gonna kill us, guys. Shuju shivered. He thought, this rule is too evil. If I don't agree to join their sect, then it means they will kill me? Kang Guangling said again, martial uncle, just now the techniques you displayed to treat everyone, it was precisely based on the internal energy of our sect. Nephew wouldn't dare to ask martial uncle how you joined the sect and inherited the energy from Grand Master. But maybe martial uncle managed to break Grand Master's chess formation. My master acted according to the orders of Grand Master and accepted you and passed on the sect leader position to you. To cut the long story short, the carefree immortal ring is on martial uncle's finger. When our master died, he kowtowed to you and also addressed you as sect leader. Martial uncle, you don't have to give excuses anymore. It's pointless for you to evade responsibility. Shuju looked to the left and right. He saw Hui Fang and the rest carrying the corpse of Xuanan to the side. He also saw the corpse of Xu Xinghe still kneeling on the floor, and his face still revealed an odd smile. His heart ached and said, I can't fully explain the situation now. Now my martial grandfather is dead. I really don't know what to do. Old senior. Kang Guangling hastily knelt down and said, martial uncle, you definitely cannot address me like this. You will really shorten nephew's life. Shuju frowned and said, fine, please get up. Kang Guangling got up. Shuju said, old senior. He just said these words. Kang Guangling immediately knelt down again with the poo sound. Shuju said, sorry, I forgot. I can't address you like this. Please, get up. He took out the scroll given to him by the old man and opened it. He said, your master asked me to rely on this scroll to try and learn martial arts and then punish benefactor Ding. Kang Guangling looked at the pretty lady in the painting. He shook his head and said, Nephew wouldn't understand the underlying meaning. Martial uncle, you should keep this painting properly and don't let outsiders see it. Since my master said it, then I invite martial uncle to take his view into consideration and act accordingly. Nephew wants to report about the poison contracted by our master. It's called blank. Oh, great. They didn't even name the poison. The translator didn't. This poison is formless and invisible. Oh, it's invisible, so that's why. So you don't see the name of the poison. Got it. Good job, translator. This poison is formless and invisible. Initially, after contracting the poison, the victim's face will reveal an odd smile, but the victim doesn't know it. After smiling 3 times, the victim will die. Oh. So that's what happened. They were smiling because they were poisoned. Let's call the poison blank. Alright, it's the blank poison. Shuju lowered his head and said, I am really ashamed. When your revered master contracted the poison, his face revealed an odd smile, but I gauge others with my own lowly character. I suspected he had bad intentions. If at that time I had candidly asked him about his smile, your revered master would have applied medical treatment immediately, and it wouldn't reach this stage. Kang Guangling. Oh yeah, you get to name the poison. Hey. Yeah, what should the poison be called, guys? Kang Guangling shook his head and said, once you contract this, it's difficult to save. This is one of the reasons why old trader Ding can go on a rampage without fear. Everyone knows about the famous great energy dissolving skill, but you will only lose your energy temporarily. You will still survive. Once this poison is cleared from your meridians, you can channel your internal energy again. But if you contract this blank poison, you will close your eyes and never open them again. Shuju shook his head and said, this is really vicious. At the time I was standing beside your master, I did not know how Ding Chunqiu managed to use his poison. My martial arts is poor, experience low. How come Ding Chunqiu never poisoned me and spared my life? Kang Guangling said, Maybe he thinks your ability is lowly, not worth the effort to poison. Martial uncle, sect leader, you are so young. How great can you be? Although the techniques you use to treat poison is good, but they are taught by my master, it's really nothing. Ding Chunqiu wouldn't bother about you. As he finished speaking this, he suddenly realized that his speech was really rude. He quickly said, Martial uncle, sect leader, I spoke frankly just now. You might feel offended, but even if you are offended, I still feel your martial arts is not good. Shuju said, You are absolutely correct. My martial arts is extremely poor. Old trader Ding, Sin, junior monk, spoke foul language. I violated the prohibition against foul language. It's really unbecoming behavior of Buddhists. That Ding Chunqiu benefactor Ding really finds me not worth killing. Shuju was simple and unsophisticated. Kang Guangling was not familiar with worldly affairs. Ding Chunqiu snuck into the wooden house and eavesdropped on Xu Xinghe, imparting techniques to treat injuries and poison. Why would he not plot against Shuju? Why would he spare Shuju just because his martial arts was lowly? He was transmitted using internal... The blank poison is transmitted using internal energy. The poison was shot onto the body of the victim. When Ding Chunqiu was in the wooden house, he already used his internal energy to flick the poison onto the blank poison onto Xu Xinghe and Shuju. Afterwards, he also flicked the poison on Xuan'an. Xu Xinghe was weary and exhausted after the fierce battle. Xuan'an lost his internal energy. Both of them contracted the poison, but Shuju was equipped with 70 years of divine internal energy. The internal energy of Ding Chunqiu did not even reach his body and got repelled back. All the deadly poison reflected onto Xu Xinghe. Shuju did not contract the slightest bit of poison. When fighting face-to-face with another opponent, Ding Chunqiu wouldn't dare to use to use the blank poison because he feared his opponent's internal energy might be formidable and reflect the poison back at him. Kang Guangling said, "Martial uncle, you are not right. Carefree sect is the most sacred. We keep to ourselves and operate alone. Aren't we free and leisurely? You are our sect leader. No one can control you in this world. You should shed your kasaya as soon as possible, grow your hair, and take a 17-18-year-old young lady as your wife. Why do you even care about Buddha or not? What prohibition against foul language or prohibition against good language?" As he spoke, Shuju kept on reciting. "Ami tuo fo." Shuju said, in front of me, don't you ever say such blasphemous words against Buddha again. You said you have something to report to me. What is it?" Kang Guangling said, "Hiya, I am really old and muddle-headed. I didn't talk about the main point after talking for so long. Martial uncle sect leader, don't follow in my footsteps when you grow up. Terrible, terrible. I diverted from the main topic again. I didn't talk about the main point. Damn it. Martial uncle sect leader, I request a very important thing from you. I hope you can approve." What's a kasaya? I think that's their uniform, the monk uniform, the robe that they wear. Hell yeah. The robes of fully ordained Buddhist monks and nuns. So the guy was saying, hey, take off your kasaya, meaning like let go of your monkhood. Stop being a monk. Shuju said, "What is this big thing that needs my approval? I am really not worthy." Kang Guangling said, "Alas, this is an important sect matter. If I don't seek approval from sect leader, then who would I ask for approval? The 8 of us, fellow apprentices, we were expelled by our master. It's really not our fault, it's just that master feared that Ding Chunqiu would try to harm us, and he couldn't bear to cut our tongues and pierce our eardrums. Thus, he expelled us. Today, master took back his orders and let us rejoin the sect, but he did not report this matter to sect leader. We have yet to formally pay our respects and become his disciples. Thus, we can't be considered as part of the sect. Hence, we hope to get permission from you, the sect leader, else we will be lonely ghosts without any sect until the day we die. We have no standings at all in the martial arts fraternity. It's really unpleasant." Shuju pondered. This sect leader of the carefree sect, I definitely cannot take this position, but if I refuse their request, they will definitely snag and tangle with me. I will just allow it and see how it goes, he said. Since your master already permits it, naturally, you are all part of the sect. Why worry? Kang Guangling rejoiced. He turned his head and shouted, "Martial brothers! The sect leader has allowed us to rejoin the sect!" When the rest of the 8 friends of Hanggu heard it, all of them were excited. Second brother, chess fanatic Fang Bailing. Third brother, bookworm Go Du. Fourth brother, painting expert Wu Lingjun. Fifth brother, enemy of the king of hell Xue Muhua. Sixth brother, marvelous craftsman Feng Asan. Seventh sister, flower married woman Shi Qingfeng. Eighth brother, love singing opera Li Kuilei. All of them rushed over to kowtow and give thanks to the sect leader. But when they thought about their master who couldn't witness them rejoin the sect, they cried bitterly. Alright, we'll take a 5-minute break. And then we'll be right back. Alright, we're back. And we're back. Mein Kampf. Raise your hands if you're wearing pants. Nikki, your pants are off as soon as you get off work. What? Thank you for sharing that with the class. Alright, so he let these 8 guys back into the sect. And they're like super happy. Shuju felt really embarrassed. Every single matter he handled further solidified his sect leader status. It was getting harder and harder for him to break away from the responsibility. He was a disciple of a famous Orthodox school, Shaolin, but he ended up as the sect leader of some demonic sect. Wasn't it absurd? He saw Fan Bailing and the rest were so happy that they were in tears. If he objected to being the sect leader now, it would really spoil the mood. Thus, he had no choice but to shake his head and force a smile. As he turned his head, Mu Rongfu, Duan Yu, Wang Yuyan, and the 6 Hui generation monks, as well as the corpse of Xuan Nan, all of them disappeared. Only the 9 of them from the carefree sect were left in the pine forest. Shuju was surprised. Where did everyone go? Wu Lingjun said, Gentleman Murong and the senior monks from Shaolin saw us talking endlessly. They parted and left. Shuju shouted, Aiyo! And he extended his legs and chased after them. He wanted to find Huifeng and the rest and return back to Shaolin to report to the abbot and his own master. At the same time, he also had the intention to slip away and break from the disciples of the carefree sect. He traveled swiftly for an hour, running faster and faster, but he never saw the 6 Hui generation monks. He was equipped with 70 years of carefree sex's divine energy. His running speed was as fast as a fine horse. Actually, when he ran down the mountain ridge, he already overtook the 6 Hui generation monks. He thought he was lagging behind, and he kept on chasing. In his haste, he did not notice the 6 monks around a corner of a mountain. After a few turns, he already outpaced them and left them far behind. Hey, Bigfoot, it's good to see you. Hey, how's it going? Shuju kept on chasing until dusk, but he still did not see his martial uncles. He found it really strange and suspected that he must have taken the wrong fork in the road, and he backtracked 20 li and inquired information from passers-by, but nobody saw the 6 monks. Running back and forth unexpectedly, he did not feel tired at all, but it was getting dark and he was getting hungry. He arrived at a restaurant at the outskirts of a small town. He found a seat and ordered 2 bowls of vegetarian noodles. The vegetarian noodles did not arrive immediately, and Shuju glanced around in all directions. Suddenly, he heard a clear and bright voice beside him. Monk, are you waiting for someone? Shuju turned his head. He saw a youngster wearing green robe sitting at the west seat beside a window. The youngster's skin was fair and clear, his appearance very beautiful. Around 17 to 18 years of age, the youngster is grinning at him. Shuju said, Yes, I want to ask, little gentleman, did you see 6 monks? The youngster said, I didn't see 6 monks, but I did see 1 monk. Shuju said, 1 monk. May I ask, little gentleman, where you saw him? The youngster replied, I saw him right here, in this restaurant. Shuju pondered, 1 monk? Then it's not Martial Uncle Huifeng and the rest of the group, but I can still find out some information about this monk. He said, Gentlemen, may I ask about the appearance of the monk? How old is he? He is headed in which direction? The youngster smiled and said, This monk has a high forehead and big ears, his mouth broad and thick lips, his nostril tilting upwards. He is about around 24 years old. He is currently waiting for 2 bowls of vegetarian noodles in this restaurant. He has yet to leave. Shuju laughed out loudly and said, Little gentleman is referring to me. The youngster said, Gentleman is just gentleman. Why the need to add the word little? I called you monk. I didn't call you little monk. This youngster's voice was tender and delicate. It was melodious and pleasant to the ears. Shuju said, Yes, I should address you as gentleman. While they were talking, the waiter had delivered the 2 bowls of vegetarian noodles. Shuju said, Gentlemen, Junior Monk will start eating the noodles. The youngster said, Green vegetables and mushroom, no oil and grease. How can it be tasty? Come over here. I'll let you eat some boiled pork and roasted chicken. Shuju said, Sen. Junior Monk has never touched meat and fish in his entire life. Gentlemen, please help yourself. As he finished speaking, he turned his body around and started eating the noodles. He was unwilling to look at how the youngster ate the chicken and meat. Shuju was very hungry. In a short period of time, he finished more than half a bowl of noodle. Suddenly, he heard the youngster shout, What is this? Shuju turned his head and saw the youngster holding a spoon with his right hand. The youngster scooped some pork. The youngster scooped some soup and was about to drink it when he suddenly found some bizarre object. The spoon stopped around half chi from his mouth, his left hand grasping something. The youngster stood up, his right hand pinching the object, and he walked towards Shuju and said, Monk, look at this bug. Isn't it strange? Shuju saw him pinching a small black beetle. This kind of beetle can be found everywhere. Definitely not some strange object. Shuju asked, How is it strange? The youngster said, The shell of this beetle is hard and stiff, bright and glossy. It seems to be coated with a layer of oil. Shuju said, Ordinary beetle are like this. The youngster said, Really? He dropped the beetle on the floor, crushed it with his feet, and walked back to his seat. Whoa, hey, why? Shuju sighed and said, Sen. He lowered his head and resumed eating his noodles. He did not eat for an entire day. This noodle seems to be very fragrant and sweet. He even drank all the noodle broth. He took his second bowl of noodle and ate it. Suddenly, the youngster burst into loud laughter and said, Monk, I thought you were a good monk with strict discipline, but you are really just a hypocrite. Shuju said, I am a hypocrite? The youngster said, You said you never touch any meat and fish in your entire life, but this bowl of chicken broth noodle, how come you ate it with gusto? With gusto. Shuju said, Gentlemen, you must be joking. This is obviously green vegetables and mushroom noodles. Where is the chicken broth? I especially reminded the waiter he could not add the slightest bit of lard. The youngster smiled and said, You said you never eat meat and fish, but when you drank the chicken broth, you savored it with relish. Monk, let me add another spoonful of chicken broth to that noodle. As he finished speaking, he scooped the soup from the roasted chicken and stood up. Shuju had a huge shock. He said, Just now you already... The youngster smiled and said, Yes, just now I added a spoonful of chicken broth in that noodle. Don't tell me you didn't see it. Aiyo, monk, quickly close your eyes. Pretend you didn't see it. I will add another spoonful of chicken broth to your noodle. I guarantee to enhance the flavor of the noodle. Anyway, you didn't add it yourself. Buddha won't blame you. Okay, who is this youngster? He's a huge troublemaker, it seems. Shuju was shocked and angry. He realized the beetle just now was meant to misdirect him and divert his gaze. The youngster used this opportunity to add a spoonful of chicken broth into the noodle. When he drank the noodle broth, it was indeed exceptionally tasty. But because he never drank chicken broth before, he didn't know the taste. Now that the chicken broth was already in his stomach, what should he do? Should he try to vomit it out? He really didn't know what to do for the moment. The youngster suddenly said, "Monk, the 6 monks you are looking for, they arrive here." He pointed at the door. Shuju was excited. He quickly rushed to the door and looked at the street, but there was no monk at all. He knew he got cheated by the youngster again. He felt really unhappy, but monks cannot be angry, and he forcefully repressed his anger. He kept silent and returned back to eating his noodles. Shuju pondered. This little gentleman is so young, but he likes to play pranks on me. He picked up his chopsticks and quickly ate another half bowl of noodle. Suddenly, his teeth bit onto a smooth and greasy object. He was startled and quickly looked at his bowl. There was a big piece of fatty meat within his noodles, but half of it was gone. Obviously, he ate it already. Shuju slammed his chopsticks on the table. He shouted, "Suffering! Suffering!" The youngster laughed and said, "Monk, this fatty meat is not nice. Why are you complaining?" Shuju said furiously, "You tricked me to go to the door, but you put a piece of fatty meat at the bottom of the bowl. In my 23 years of life, I never touched meat and fish, but all of this is destroyed by you." The youngster gave a faint smile and said, "The taste of this fatty meat, isn't it 10 times better than vegetables and tofu? You are really foolish not to eat it." Shuju frowned and stood up. He stuck his right hand into his throat. He tried hard to vomit out the fatty meat, but he couldn't do it. His thoughts were in a whirl. Suddenly, he heard a disturbance outside. A lot of people entered the restaurant. He gave a quick glance. Among these people are Xingxiu disciples. He secretly cried out, "Ayo, not good. I will die here if I get caught by the old freak of Xingxiu." He quickly rushed to the rear door, trying to escape the restaurant. But when he opened the door and entered, it was actually a bedroom. As Shuju was about to step out of the room, he heard someone shout behind him, Shop owner, quickly, bring some wine and meat." The Xingxiu disciples already entered the parlor. Yep, so this little kid made him eat chicken. So, what does that do to you? What do you have to do to atone for that sin? Shuju dared not step out of the room. He closed the door lightly. Suddenly, he heard someone say, "Find some place for this big belly monk to rest." The voice is from Ding Chun Qiu. A Xingxiu disciple said, "Yes." His footsteps heavy, he walked towards the bedroom. Shuju was alarmed. He was at his wit's end. He lowered his body and squeezed under the bed. His head went under the bed and bumped into something. A voice cried out softly, "Ah!" It seemed someone was hiding under the bed. Really? Shuju was even more frightened. As he was about to withdraw, the Xingxiu disciple carried Huijing and entered the bedroom. He put Huijing on the bed and went out. Shuju heard someone whispering in his ear. "Monk, is the fatty meat tasty? What are you scared of?" It was the youngster. Shuju pondered. "Your movement is quite nimble. You are even faster than me and hid yourself under the bed." He spoke softly. There is a group of evil people outside. Gentlemen, you definitely cannot make any sound." The youngster said, "How do you know they are evil people?" "I recognize them. They murder people without blinking an eye. They are not playing around." The youngster was about to ask Shuju to keep quiet. Suddenly, Huijing shouted, "There is someone under the bed! There is someone under the bed!" Oh, God. Shuju and the youngster were alarmed. Both of them crawled out from under the bed. They saw Ding Chunqiu standing by the door. He was sneering at them, his expression proud and yet malicious. The youngster was so frightened that his face lost color. Immediately, he knelt down and shouted, "Master! Ah, the youngster!" Who can she be? Ding Chunqiu smiled and said, very good, very good. Hand it over. The youngster said, "It's not with the disciple." Ding Chunqiu said, "Then where is it?" The youngster said, "It's at the Liao Empire, Nanjing City." Ding Chunqiu revealed an ominous glint. He said in a deep and low voice, "You're still trying to deceive me at this moment. I will make your life so miserable that you will be begging for death." The youngster said, "Disciple wouldn't dare to lie to master." Ding Chunqiu's gaze swept across to Shuju. He asked the youngster, "How come you're together with him?" The youngster said, "I met him just now at this restaurant." Ding Chunqiu snorted, "Lies!" He stared ferociously at both of them and walked back out. 4 Xingxiu disciples rushed into the bedroom and surrounded the two of them. Shuju was frightened and angry. He said, "So you are a Xingxiu disciple?" The youngster stamped his feet and said fiercely, "Stinky monk, it's your fault. You still dare comment on me." One of the Xingxiu disciples said, Senior Marshall's sister, how are you?" His tone frivolous, his expression rejoicing in other people's misfortune. Shuju asked curiously, "How come you... The youngster spit in contempt and said, "Stupid monk, stinky monk, obviously I am a woman. Don't tell me you can't tell from a single glance." Shuju pondered. So this little gentleman is a woman, and she is also a Xingxiu disciple. Not only that, she is also their senior marshal's sister? Oh my goodness, this is bad. She made me drink chicken broth and eat fatty meat. I am afraid she poisoned them. This youngster is Azu in disguise. Although she had endless glory and wealth in the Liao Empire, but her natural disposition was active and restless. After living there for a long time, she started to feel bored. Xiao Feng was often busy with official business and could not accompany her to go hunting or play. One day, she felt moody and left the palace alone to play. Initially, she planned to return by evening, but she met someone along the way. Unexpectedly, this person provoked her with words. He said that although she was pretty, but she did not have any male companions, it was unavoidable that she will be lonely. Azu recalled her tender sentiments towards Xiao Feng, but he never reciprocated it. She felt indignant and immediately thought of killing the person to vent her anger. The person escaped quickly, and Azu pursued him for a long time. Finally, she managed to kill the person with poison, but she was very far from Nanjing. Thus, she made an opportunity of this and explored the Central Plains. She wandered around everywhere. It was really a lucky coincidence as she managed to meet Shuju and Ding Chunqiu at the same time. She played a prank on Shuju and made him violate his religious precept. It was purely on the spur of the moment, and she did not have any other evil intentions. Azu thought her master was living comfortably at the Xingxiu Sea. He would never come to the Central Plains. Unexpectedly, her master personally came to the Central Plains to get back the divine wooden king tripod, and they so happened to meet at this very small restaurant. She was scared out of her wits. She berated Shuju loudly to try to force herself to calm down, but that was useless as her voice trembled endlessly. She quickly tried to think of an idea to escape. "The only option is to trick master to go to Nanjing. I will let brother-in-law kill master. This is the only way out for me. Other than brother-in-law, no one else can defeat my master. Luckily, I left the divine wooden king tripod at Nanjing. Master will definitely try to get back this rare treasure." This youngster is the literal worst. She is the worst. As she thought of this idea, she calmed down a little, but she was having second thoughts. But what if Master gets rid of all my martial arts and makes me a handicap? After that, he would drag me to Nanjing. I am afraid this kind of torture is worse than death. In a split second, her face lost all its color again. A Xingxiu disciple walked towards the door. He smiled happily and said, "Senior Marshal's sister, Master is summoning you." When Azu heard the summon from her master, it was as if a mouse heard the purr of a cat. She was so frightened that her bones turned limp. She knew that she could not run away and followed the Xingxiu disciple to the lobby. Ding Chunqiu was seated alone at a table. There were food and wine on the table. The rest of the disciples stood far away with their hands straightened down, their expression reverent and respectful. They dared not breathe heavily. Azu stepped forward and called out, "Master!" She knelt down. Ding Chunqiu said, "Where exactly is it?" Azu said, "I dare not lie to Master. It's indeed at the Liao Empire, Nanjing City." Ding Chunqiu said, "Where is it located?" "At Nanjing City." Azu said, "The official residence of Lord Xiao, Lord of the Southern Chancellery." Ding Chunqiu frowned and said, "How come it fell into the hands of a Khitan dog?" Azu said, "It didn't. When disciple reached the north, I feared losing Master's treasure or accidentally damaging it. Thus I secretly buried it in the rear garden of Lord Xiao's residence. The hiding spot is extremely secluded. The garden was around 400 hectares. Other than disciple, no one else can find this divine wooden king tripod. Master, you can put your heart at ease." Ding Chunqiu sneered. "Only you can find it? Huh, little trash. You are really difficult to deal with. You trying to stop me from killing you. After killing you, I can't find the divine wooden king tripod, correct?" Azu shivered. Her voice trembled with fear. "If Master refuses to forgive disciples' act of willfulness and strip all my martial arts, pick off all my tendons and veins, break my hands and feet, then disciple would rather die immediately and will never reveal the location of the divine tripod." As she reached the end of her speech, she was so frightened that she couldn't even articulate properly. Ding Chunqiu smiled and said, "You little trash. You even dare to haggle with me? My Xingxiu sect has such a powerful figure like you. I did not guard against you beforehand. It's really an oversight for the divine elder of Xingxiu." One of the Xingxiu disciples suddenly shouted, "Divine Elder of Xingxiu sees the past and future. You know the divine wooden king tripod will be stolen, thus you made use of Azu and let the treasure undergo hardships so that it can be further refined and increase the magic power of the divine tripod." Another disciple said, "All the things in this world, which one of them is not within the divine calculation of the divine elder of Xingxiu? Divine elder is modest and dismiss his achievements. All the disciples, you cannot take it seriously." Another disciple said, "Divine elder of Xingxiu displays his little trick and killed Xuannan, a top expert from Shaolin. He also exterminated the deaf-mute old man and his disciples. Since ancient times, where can you find such persons who achieve overwhelming victory? Little Azu, no matter how crafty and scheming you are, you can never escape from the palm of the divine elder of Xingxiu. Stop trying to be stubborn and plead guilty." Ding Chunqiu smiled and nodded his head. He twirled his fingers and listened. Shuju was standing in the bedroom, and he heard everything clearly. He pondered. Martial Grandfather and Mr. Intelligent are indeed killed by benefactor Ding. Alas, there is no need to even talk about revenge. I can't even save my own small life. The crowd of Xingxiu disciples all gave their remarks. They kept urging Azu to quickly surrender and confess honestly. While they were threatening her, more than half of the speech was praising the prestige of the divine elder of Xingxiu. For every sentence that was directed at Azu, they had to add another 3 sentences to sing praises on Ding Chunqiu. The greatest craving in Ding Chunqiu's entire life was to listen to other people flatter him. The more corny and sappy the speech, the happier he was. He was already flattered by his disciples for over 10 years. He firmly believed their speech and felt that their praises were true. If a disciple did not exaggerate the praise, he would feel the disciple was not loyal enough. All the disciples were fully aware of Ding Chunqiu's temper. Whenever there was an opportunity, they would do their utmost and make a huge fanfare in their praises. They knew their life would be in danger if their praises were lacking. In reality, these Xingxiu disciples were not born shameless. They were merely shaped by their circumstances. If they didn't behave in a certain way, they could not survive. Thus, after a long time, their habits became natural, and they no longer feel any shame when flattering or singing praises. Ding Chunqiu twirled his fingers in delight. His eyes were shut, yet appeared to be open. He was feeling smug, and reveled in the praises of his disciples. While fighting with Xu Xinghe, a huge portion of Ding Chunqiu's long beard got burnt off. Now only a few remains. Afterwards, he secretly deployed his deadly poison and poisoned Xu Xinghe to death. Thus he could be considered to be the victor in this battle with Xu Xinghe. Now that he had fewer beards, now that he has fewer hair on his beard, he appeared younger by 10 years. This sect is straight up Darwinian? True. He plotted secretly. Azu, that little girl. It's difficult for her to escape the control of the divine elder. Tomorrow I will accept her back as maid, but that little monk in the bedroom, I need to deal with him carefully. Unexpectedly, he did not die from my blank poison. Later, I will use my great energy-dissolving skill and kill his dog life. I will then be able to get my hands on the sect leader's carefree immortal ring. Wonderful, wonderful. After the time taken to eat a meal, the praises gradually died down. However, there were still some who delved deep into open discussion and kept on praising. Ding Chunqiu raised his left hand, and the praises stopped immediately. The disciples said in unison, "The achievements and virtue of divine elder of Xingxiu covers heaven and earth. Disciples are simple-minded. We are not worthy to convey your greatness." Ding Chunqiu smiled and nodded his head. He said to Azu, "Azu, what else you have to say?" Azu suddenly had an idea. In the past, I was my master's favorite. It's because my flattering and boot-licking skill stands out from the masses. I am different from this bunch of stupid people, 100 years later, and they still have to keep on saying these cliches. She said, "Master, disciples secretly took your divine wooden king tripod to play. There is a reason behind it." Ding Chunqiu rolled his eyes and asked, "What reason?" Azu said, "Master, previously you looked older. Your power isn't as great as your current younger self. You gained power with the help of the divine tripod and used it to practice your skills. But in recent years, anyone who comes across Master will witness your peerless magical powers. This divine tripod is merely an object that gathers poison. Compared to the achievements of Master, it's like comparing Firefly with the sun. They cannot be mentioned in the same breath." If Master is unwilling to discard this divine tripod, it's only because of past sentiments, nothing more. All these disciples make a big fuss. They claim this divine tripod is something important. It will delay important matters if it is lost. They are really silly and stupid. They really look down on Master's remarkable magical powers. Ding Chunqiu nodded his head repeatedly and said, Your words are logical. Your words are logical. What? Does he actually believe her? Come on. Azu continued, Disciple thought the martial arts of the Xingqiu sect is so strong, the other sects all cannot be compared to us. But Master is gracious and magnanimous. You don't want to argue with the lesser informed. It's beneath your dignity to personally travel to the Central Plains and teach these ill-informed people a lesson. But some of the people in the martial arts fraternity are arrogant. They knew Master wouldn't bicker with them, and they started boasting and flaunting. They claim that they are some kind of top experts or martial arts family, famous martial arts family, but no matter how they boast, they still did not dare to come to the Xingqiu Sea to receive a few moves from Master. Master's appearance and mine are similar. They thought you are some newly recruited disciple, but they didn't expect you to be the great founding father with unrivaled martial arts and peerless divine power. Everyone who practiced martial arts all knows Master's skill is deep and unfathomable. But it's just deep and unfathomable. Nobody can describe how deep it is. Her voice was melodious. Every single word registered deeply in Ding Chunqiu's heart. It really was much better than the loud and tasteless praise from the rest of the disciples. Ding Chunqiu was getting more and more cheerful. He was smiling so broadly that his eyes became a single line. He could not help but nod repeatedly, feeling very pleased with himself. Azu continued, Disciple had a childish thought. Master has such remarkable magic powers. If you don't go to the Central Plains and display a few moves, these ill-informed people will never broaden their horizons. They will never know there is someone even better than them. Thus, I had an idea. I wanted to invite Master to the Central Plains and teach them some lessons. But if I just simply invite Master, then it's too ordinary. It's not suited to the status of Master as the #1 expert. Hence, Disciple borrowed your divine tripod. The purpose is to urge Master to come to the Central Plains and let everyone see you, the handsome youngster. Master is so young and handsome, you look like my younger brother. Everyone calls you Divine Elder of Xingqiu. It's simply unreasonable. Xingqiu sect has such a handsome youngster like you. Don't tell me they have no eyes. Azu was naturally smart and intelligent. Moreover, all females had a keen eye on everlasting youth and good looks. She long noticed that her master was worried about the effectiveness of the eternal youth never-aging skill. The more he worried about everlasting youth, the more she had to compliment that he was youthful. Nice. Thus, she said that calling him handsome youngster of Xingqiu was much better than divine elder of Xingqiu. After she finished speaking, she noticed her master's expression was favorable and enchanted. It seemed her words hit the correct main points. This guy is totally falling for her tricks. Ding Chunqiu chuckled and said, So you are saying that you took the divine tripod purely out of filial piety and obedience? Azu said, Of course. But other than filial piety and obedience, disciple also has a selfish motive. Ding Chunqiu frowned and said, What selfish motive? Azu smiled and said, Master, please don't blame me. Since I am a Xingqiu disciple, naturally, I wish that my sect can dominate the entire world. Isn't it impressive to walk on the street and gain everyone's respect and reverence? This is my selfish motive. Ding Chunqiu laughed out loudly and said, Ha 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 ha! Well said, well said. I have many disciples in my sect. None of them can match your quick-witted mind. So it turns out that stealing my divine wooden king tripod was to display my might and prestige. You really have the gift of the gab. It's a pity to just kill you. I will then have one less person who can talk to me and relieve my boredom. But if I simply just let the matter rest, then... Azu quickly interrupted. Although it may seem that disciple got off too lightly, but who isn't grateful to Master's great magnanimous spirit? From now on, we will spare no effort and do our utmost, even if we have to get our bodies torn and bones crushed. Ding Chunqiu said, This kind of word is useful for fooling others, but you try this on me. You really think I am an old and muddle-headed man? You harbor evil intentions. Oh, okay. He doesn't believe her. Azu quickly said, To me, Master is a young urchin, old and muddle-headed are words used by the rest of the disciples to slander Master. As she spoke, suddenly there was a clear and bright voice. Shop owner, prepare a seat. Ding Chunqiu looked from the side of his eyes. He saw a young gentleman wearing a yellow robe, a long sword hanging by his waist. He was sitting at the edge of a table. Ding Chunqiu did not know when this young gentleman entered the restaurant. The young man was Murongfu. Ding Chunqiu was listening to Azu. He was feeling extremely happy. But at the same time, he also kept his focus on the movements of Shuju, who was in the rear bedroom. He was afraid that Shuju might climb over the window and escape. Thus, he did not notice that another person suddenly appeared in the restaurant. If Murongfu had made a sneak attack, Ding Chunqiu would have suffered a major loss. Ding Chunqiu trembled with fear at this thought. His countenance changed, but he calmed down immediately. And that's it. That's it. How did you guys like the chapter, huh? I thought it was pretty good. So Suju is now the leader of the Carefree sect, even though he doesn't want to be. He is. And now we get to see the little bitch, Azu, again. And looks like she's in big trouble, okay? Is anyone worried about what happens to her? Is anyone really worried? Okay. And now we see that Murongfu is here, okay? So I wonder what he's going to do. Yeah, we hear so much about this guy, but we haven't seen much of him, right? We don't know. Is he like really powerful? He must be, right? He must have like really powerful martial arts. But I don't think we've seen him in action yet, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. What's up, Nomad? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I eat the best treats and wear the best hats. True. Oh yeah, I should wear my hat. Why does everything involve a restaurant? I have no idea. Casey, you're hoping she gets punished? Yeah, I kind of do too. I kind of do. I drink the best wine. All right, guys. Let me take a swig. All right. Cheers. I should try mulled wine. Okay. Put that on my list. It was a nice try today, Nikki, okay? Try to catch me on 2 words. Didn't work. Better luck next time. All right, guys. Cheers. Well, I love you. Time to go. Okay. I'll see you next time. All right. Bye.